Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. It's Feel Good Friday with me, Carl Monson, and the Good Morning Portugal Show live stream podcast and Portugal Club. Forgive me, over at the podcast, it's been a while since I've updated the audio episodes. I do have a somewhat sad feeling, and maybe ultimately it will go the way of vinyl, but podcast listenership is dropping as seems to be a sort of mainstream migration towards YouTube. But I will persist. I just need to catch up over there and add the most recent episodes. But let me know if you are still listening on the podcast and you're saying or thinking to yourself, Carl, no, please keep those podcast episodes up to date. Definitely find it useful just listening. It has changed, of course, as the show has become more visual, and you would miss out on more. And I suspect as well, some of the subscriptions are downloaded and maybe never listened to. We all do that, don't we? We're subscribers to podcasts we don't listen to. It's great for the producer of the podcast because they get a download, whether or not the person listens to it or not, which is different to a YouTube. You're only going to get a view if the person watches it, right? So interesting times. We shall see what happens in the great arc of history with podcasting, which is quite a trifling matter given some of the other issues that are facing humanity at the moment, including petrol rationing, possibly, or fuel rationing, with a destruction. Hold on a minute. I've just got a few aid memoirs including swallows as well, and off-grid internet systems as well. A few threads. Oh no, I've done that in the wrong place there. Oh dear. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to open. that's weird. More speed, less haste. Is that the right way around? But I've posted some things up in the wrong thread over at the Portugal Club this morning. But I shall show you anyway. Perhaps this is the right thing, the right place to post fuel rationing and energy rationing in our off-grid preparedness equipment research and recommendations. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And swallows, that shouldn't really be in preparedness. Although if there's no TV and electricity, you've got the swallows and nature to watch. So maybe that is appropriate after all. Oh, in the age of discombobulation. Right. These are a couple of the things I wanted to show you. We've got a eye-wateringly packed show this morning. So let me get on with this very quickly and say a few hellos this morning. But over at Portugal Decoded, the Friday briefing includes, which is great, looking out to nature instead of man's crazy man-made world. Out to nature then, and good morning and welcome to Portugal Decoded. Today marks the official beginning of spring. How lovely. Boa primavera, everybody. A season linked to the returning swallows. Here's why they're a Portuguese icon and how to tell them apart. The house martins, the swallows, and the swifts, I suspect, is the reference there. Now, if I go back one post as well, we're taking our cue here from the UK, from where the coach joins us this morning, although he will be out joining us in Portugal soon. Panic buying in UK supermarkets, apparently. It's all cheerful stuff this morning, friends. Panic buying in UK supermarkets due to the war in Iran. They have introduced purchase limits. Asda has 6 litres of fuel maximum. Tesco 8 litres of fuel. Morrison 7 litres of fuel maximum. And Aldi are limiting you to 2 trumpets, 1 deep sea diving suit, and a MIG welder from the middle row. They're not putting any kind of sanction on flippers and snorkels at the moment as we speak. Anyway, the coach will be with us soon. My goodness, yes, he will be with us really soon, ahead of his next trip out to Portugal, where we can hang out with him. We've got Savvy Cat Ana, who's back from Brazil. I don't think she'd been there before. We'll find out a little bit later on. And new guest, Mario De Oliveira, the man behind GuMPy. He wasn't pretending to be GuMPy behind the scenes each time we cranked up our AI assistant. He created that bit of technology. And he's here to talk to us about how AI can assist us in a positive way, rather than terrifying the living bejeebers out of us and stealing all our jobs, etc., and poisoning the minds of our children and making them less intelligent. It's not all bad news with AI, as we were beginning to say yesterday. Morning, Matty. Morning. This might be one of our. It could be Mario. It could look the how's it greeting in the morning. You know that's somebody from South Africa, right? Bon dia, good morning from HDO Sul. Is that you, Mario, or is that a South African colleague there? Pete's in, Mike's in, Sarah, Gemini. Look at this. No, I don't listen to podcasts. All right, Mel. Good morning to you. Love YouTube. There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Are the podcasts available in Betamax? Very funny. Swallows are such a pest. Oh, grumpy old man. Yes, it's me. That sounds like Nintendo. Yes, it's me, Mario. Good morning to you, Mario. See you soon at 8:40. Neil's in as well. PT Country Bet also. Bondia driving to Scotland next week. That should only cost you about $500,000 then. Should be an interesting trip. Refuel. Swallows are such a pest. Our lovely mayor's son has nests above his front door. So lovely to awake to a fresh pile of guano. Is there a Portuguese recipe for that? I wonder. Must be something you can do with it. Maybe it keeps the flies away. Maybe it attracts flies. I don't know. Let's give him a nice big round of applause and bring him onto the screen. Coach Turner, did you like that?
Good morning. Bon dia. Bon dia.
Bon dia to you. Did you like the fuel rationing meme there?
Yeah, that's quite good, isn't it? I actually haven't put any fuel in, but 6 or 7 litres won't do very much for my cars.
No,
even the hybrid uses
really
a fair bit. But anyway,
I've escaped all of these petrol fuel dramas ever since I've been here in Portugal. Or certainly in the last few years. I just put 20 euros in. It's never changed for me. No fluctuations affect me. They know me as 20 euro. Yeah, 20 euro Munson in his old Skoda. You've seen my banger, haven't you? It nearly went in the sea the other day. I was showing some people around San Martino de Porto and walking them towards the tunnel, which we weren't allowed to go into. That the cliff down at the end is quite dangerous at the moment, I believe, or they're taking the precaution anyway of closing it off. And I noticed my car was covered in debris where I think the water had come up to the wheels for sure, and it had been splashed a few times by waves. So I thought, I better move this. I'll catch you guys up. Then I thought, oh no, I'm sending them off to certain death in the tunnel. So I ran to get them and catch up with them. They couldn't get to it. Have you been to the curry house in San Martino de Porto, to get very local for a moment?
Yeah, we went with Colin for his birthday on the night of the party, the last party I went to with you.
He loves to do that when he comes to San Martino. He loves to go and get his curry and chips.
Yeah.
He's unashamed.
It's actually the food is really quite good.
It is,
I was surprised because I've been to curry houses in a variety of places, and they've always kind of been disappointing compared with the Anglo curry that we have at home.
Quite. You've got the benchmark, haven't you, in UK, which is high. And one of the lads I was talking to, he'd worked in Birmingham, unsurprisingly perhaps, but the water was coming in from the bay and lapping up to their bottom step as you go up into the restaurant. And I said, have you seen it like this before? He's, yeah. He's like, he was quite unbothered by it. And yes, I went in there with Colin, Curry Colin, as it turns out, and had a fantastic lamb karahi in there.
Nice.
They don't have to try that hard.
I think that's what I ate, actually. Yeah, really nice from the Tandoor.
Very, very good. We can recommend it. We can recommend it. And like you, I thought they're not going to bother. They don't have any competition. It doesn't really matter that much. But the curry is really good in there. Is it the Royal Indian, possibly that it's called in. There's only one. You're not going to miss it if you take a little walk around the bay, which you will be doing soon. A morning coach from Mike, who might pop over to see you with the invitation we've got this morning. Morning to you as well, John. If you're only putting 20 euros in every time, Carl, it'll be like other things at our age. What was a strong stream will become. Oh, come on, Pete. He's looking on the bright side this morning, isn't he? Yes, your upcoming trip. Now, I had an idea, Ian, that we might do some 50+ fitness, some God Squad stuff. So, you quite like the idea of a hike, possibly around the bay. Maybe a few of us doing that together.
Oh, it'd be lovely to do a hike around the bay. It's a super walk, isn't it? All the way around to Celia.
Up
on
to
the boardwalk. Up to the chapel. It's a bit of the climb up the cliff, but it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that would be fabulous.
Right, and we can hang out, we can chat, we can have some beers, and we can talk about, even if we don't do any 50+ fitness, we can actually talk about it, can't we?
Yeah. I guess talk about it is probably all we can do. Oh, Mrs.
Have you got
T's
Mrs.
here.
Hello,
Yeah.
Mrs. T. Good morning to you.
Says good morning.
Morning. Hola, bon dia. Hola, bon dia. Right. So you're up for that. Can you disclose the date of when that might be so people can pencil it into their diary?
Let's think. It'll be it's a Saturday morning appropriate.
If that'll be fine. Yeah. I'll bring my eldest with me as well.
The 18th of April
18th
would
of
be
April.
good.
Yeah, if you want to meet the coach in real life then and come and chat and walk around San Martin's very pleasant bay. Maybe do some geocaching on the hike. T-Duck might be up for that as well. He's a big geocacher. Although, is that a secret? Is it like being in a secret society? You're not meant to out people. It's all very secret. But maybe do some geocaching on the hike. So we can. There are some.
You know what they say about geocaching?
What do they say?
Don't talk about geocaching.
Okay, so I've already been thrown out of the organization. I have a lifetime ban.
You and me both.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, we can do that, Mel. But
we'll never do all sorts of things.
We will never speak of it again. just in case. Just in case. What a fantastic proposition and possibility that is then to hang out with the coach on the 18th of April. Did you say?
18th of April. Yeah, I'm coming out on the 16th. So I'll be in town by early evening, I would think.
Fantastic, and we can hang out.
But only for the long weekend, while Mrs. T is away in Vienna with her friend.
How lovely! How lovely! Oh, lovely weekends for you both. And clearly, San Martin has an enduring appeal for you. This is it behind me, of course. You're looking forward to coming back.
Oh, it's my favourite Portugal place.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
No, I think of all the different places, and we've been to quite a lot.
Yeah.
It combines. I guess if we wanted to be warm all the time, we'd be down south. But
yes.
But we can really only come over spring and autumn. So that's what we're doing, and I'm out for a month in October. So
cool. Okay, so clearly
that'd be really I want to get into working, doing a bit of coaching with the rugby club and maybe the athletics club in Caldas.
How fabulous! The rugby club in Caldas. National team? Right. Okay, not the national team yet.
No, they're doing really well.
Aren't they just?
European Cup, didn't they? They're fabulous. Beat Georgia, Georgia are a really good side.
Yep.
A bit one-dimensional, but they're a really good side and have won numerous times. So to beat them in the final was fantastic.
Very good. Very good.
And they play great rugby too. It's really exciting stuff.
And it's a really good time to get into Portuguese rugby because I think the interest in the country is growing. Portuguese love all sports, but rugby is becoming better known. And they're a really beloved team, aren't they? They had a turnout at the airport to go meet them when they came back from a previous tour and victory. I think was that last year. And Lobos are the champions, says Mario as well. So there's a lot of love for the team as well, isn't there? The Lobos. Yeah,
the Lobos. They just play fabulous rugby. I enjoy watching them. They're sort of a bit like the French, obviously not quite as advanced in their techniques, but they play wonderful, expansive, quick, fast rugby rather than the grind that so many other teams play. The grind, really good, love it.
Yeah. And I wonder if it reflects the flair of the national character. Is that off? Do you think is that the way with rugby?
I think it does. Does. Okay. You can imagine the French are always great until they're not.
What, like the food, maybe?
Like the food, yeah. Their rugby team can play 3 brilliant games and slaughter everybody, and then they'll play one awful game, as they did this season. Yeah. When they just don't turn up, they're just almost not interested.
An indifference, a Gallic indifference.
A Gallic indifference, exactly that. So, whereas I think Portugal play with love and enthusiasm, which actually sums them up, doesn't it?
Yes, resourcefulness, a little bit of innovation and flair, and where there's anything lacking, they make up for it with absolute guts and innovative and working around as well. I'd never thought of that, but I guess it's pretty obvious, really. Yeah, the rugby team might reflect the national characteristics wherever.
Yeah, I think it's more so in rugby than soccer or other games.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's such an involved and different sort of game where almost any person of any size and shape can play. You have to be a bit fitter these days than you used to be. But
yes, but you can find yourself in
cool.
the teamwork, proper teamwork. Excellent. Anything caught your eye then, fitness-wise? Often you share with us a little bit of research or something that's occurred to you about 50-plus fitness.
No, well, not really. Did I tell you the story about my blood test last time we were on?
No, this sounds like we're just sitting down in the pub and you're saying to me, "Did I tell you about the blood test I just had?"
No. Well, it's a bit like that because you will recall that I went skiing with a certain gentleman,
Curry Colin,
Curry Colin.
Yes,
and of course we had a week of good food and good booze, and quite. We weren't desperately careful about what we ate and drank. And what I'd forgotten is that I had a blood test on the Monday I got back.
Oh no! Right, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I go have the blood test, and the following morning at about 8:30 in the morning, I got a message from the doctors to say, your cholesterol's a bit high. We think you should go on to statins. And I thought, well, sod that. I'm good. I know quite a few people who are on statins and have been for ages and have no problems with them. And I don't have a substantial problem, but I'd rather not.
Yes.
So I had a long discussion with the doctor the following day and said, let me give you a bit of context.
Which a doctor would understand, right?
From a week on the lash.
Yes.
Would that have affected my readings? Yes, it might.
Yes. Where were you? Oh, okay. Over in Europe, living the life.
Yeah, exactly.
And that would account for the cocktail umbrella floating in your bloodstream as well.
Yeah, and it had a sort of hedge to it. When she took the blood, it had a sort of white head. So
right.
So anyway, we agreed that I'd have another blood test in about 6 months' time, rather than doing, going on to statins. So we've agreed that, and I'm gradually changing my diet a little to increase the amount of fiber in it. So eating more fibrous vegetables and things. Yes. But also having one of these little drinks each day, the little probiotics. Yeah, one of those as well.
Right. Okay. Oh, so
the little probiotics, because I was told by a friend of mine who also had a high cholesterol reading, and she said, that's all I did was go and take these Benecols every day. I haven't changed anything else, and it reduced my cholesterol level to an acceptable one. So I thought, we'll give it a try. And a week or so in, 10 days probably, and I've noticed that my guts, my digestive system is certainly improved.
Okay, so, thank you for leaving it. Thank you for.
I'll leave it there.
Parking it there. Right. Okay. There's a few things to share on this note. Savvy Cat Ana joining us soon as well. Back from Brazil. We're going to hear about her tour of Brazil. I'd love to go to Brazil one day. She's just been. We'll find out how she got on over there. We're talking about statins with an N, Matty, which is a pharmaceutical intervention to alter your cholesterol level. It's quite controversial, actually, once you scratch the surface. With statins and part of
I think there are mixed views, but then there's mixed views about
everything,
vaccinations
right?
too.
Everything. Quite rightly so. Quite rightly so. I would say. And may I plug the Life Support podcast, which I record with Dr. John Briffer every Friday morning. It's released at lunchtime on a Friday. and we have a conversation. I mean, I don't have that much to add to it. I facilitate and reflect upon what John shares with me. That is 3 things from the health and well-being world. One of them might be statins. We haven't talked about statins. We used to a long time ago, and as I recall, I don't want to misquote him, but the research around statins was quite controversial some 15 years ago, and I think it's rumbled on ever since. And it is, I would say, it is worth scratching the surface. And the whole, I think the whole cholesterol idea is a little bit like, a lot of these shorthanded Daily Mail type headlines. A glass of wine is good for you, or butter's terrible for you. Oh, and what's your cholesterol? You probably have to know a little bit more about it than just, oh, cholesterol bad, quick, take a statin. Which is clearly what you've done, and your doctor has agreed to give you another test, maybe when you haven't been on a gourmet ski and boozing skiing
ski trip.
Yes, so statins, Matty, on that. And rugby union or rugby league, it's union, isn't it, that's played at that level and here in Portugal mostly, I think.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know as there's rugby league played in Portugal. I haven't come across that.
I bet someone's tried.
At a low level.
Yeah, every sport's tried here in Portugal, I'm sure. Rugby league is any shape, but union requires very specific sizes and shapes. Is he making a joke there, or is that true? Okay.
I not when I used to play.
Odd-shaped balls. Odd-shaped balls to you as well.
Odd-shaped balls, yeah.
Well, in general, Matty's opinion about medicinal drugs, pills and tablets and whatnot is this. Here we go. And he hasn't said in my humble opinion. So expect something very direct here. They are good as long as they are only taken for a period of time and the dosage decreases over time. Sadly, often this is not the case, and they are taken indefinitely with dosages increasing instead. And that's why on my father's passing, when I cleared out his possessions, I think I had about 3 or 4 carrier bags full of prescriptions. He would take everything his doctor suggested. He loved it. It was like a day out to him, going to the doctor, having a test and being told, oh, you might want to try this. Really, doc? Give it to me. And there must have been thousands of pounds worth of unused pharmaceuticals, and nobody wanted them except for the Viagra. But that's another story. That's another story, Ian.
And you don't want to know when it's your dad, do you?
Not really. What are these doing here? No, neither of you guys are going to play second row. Probably not. Thank you. And suppressing cholesterol is not a good idea. Your brain runs on it. There you go. Henry stepping in there. Look at his magnificent physique in that picture. Coach, we'll see you in April. And anyone who wants to hang out, come for a hike with us around the bay on the 18th of April. Just drop me a line and we'll have some fun hanging out with the coach. We might even have a curry, right?
We could finish with a curry, I guess.
Colin could come over for that. I bet he will as well. So that
we could have a curry in the evening. I don't fancy it at lunchtime. No, we'll go to Palmera at lunchtime.
Very good. As is the tradition. Kiss the grass and go to the Palmera. Have a great weekend. Love to you both over there. And I think you've got better weather than us here on the first day of spring in Portugal. So enjoy it.
Have a look.
Look at that. Beautiful English spring day. Oh, yes, there you go.
Coming out.
Nice one. Cheers, coach.
All right,
all the best to you. Ciao. There he goes. We'll see him in April. And let's keep that applause going for the Savvy Cat Ana Caramujo, everybody. Hola, bon dia.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while.
Yes, I remember you. Hannah, isn't it? Yes. How was Brazil, Anna, and how are you doing?
Brazil is a whole other world. And one of the curious things I actually noticed when I was there is that Brazil, I already knew this is a thing, but Brazilians really don't understand Portuguese.
Oh, really? So were you expecting?
So if you're trying to learn Portuguese, make sure you learn Portuguese from Portugal, because we Portuguese from Portugal understand Brazilians quite well, but the other way around, not so much. Oh, so really? If you are learning, there's a lot of things that are different, and you should definitely, if you want to come to Portugal, go for Portuguese from Portugal.
Wow. Yeah, very good. So what sort of pickles did you get yourself into then in Brazil?
Oh, not a lot. Well, I have inheritance there, so I do have to pop there every now and again to make sure things are not falling apart.
Yes.
And
Yes. Okay.
yeah, I spent a lot more time than the previous time because this has been a very significant bureaucratic change. We basically paid a major tax, and things are going to change regarding what we can do. So
Oh,
I stayed there a bit longer to get things planned with my lawyer. Another big difference, but I think this is different everywhere, isn't it? But here in Portugal, we don't have inheritance tax for direct inheritance. So in this case, it was
no.
inheritance for my father. And the Portuguese side of things was fairly straightforward. It was in the middle of COVID, so it was quite chaotic. But in Brazil, being on the other side of the continent, in the middle of the COVID, and Brazil bureaucracy can actually be more chaotic than Portugal somehow. So
What?
kudos to them.
Okay.
And we only managed to pay the inheritance tax in January, this January. And my father passed away
6
in
years later.
2020. So it's been a
Wow.
while.
Yes, indeed.
So that's why I stayed in Brazil for a bit longer, because it's only after you pay this tax the property gets officially moved to the name of the heirs,
Yeah.
and before that there's not really much you can do. But yes, in Brazil there's an inheritance tax. In Portugal there is not, and it's pretty annoying because you're basically just paying because someone died, and the state is getting
Yes.
paid because someone died.
Yeah, yeah. That is the unfairness of inheritance tax, is it not? Big rows about that in the UK, probably all over the world, in fact. And I
I'm
think
curious, how much is it in the UK?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I've not found myself in that awful position. I suspect somebody will tell us in the chat here. And I
Yeah,
think
in Brazil it
Portugal,
is. I think it's from 4 to 8%,
right?
and I got the 8%, so that sucked.
Yeah, right, right. I think the debate in the UK was for farmers really, who are asset rich, but cash poor, so they would struggle to pay the tax on an inheritance,
Yeah,
even
I
though
think
they've
that
got a lot of
happens a lot in Brazil, like
money.
properties that never get officially passed on because people don't have the money to pay the tax, or get
Yeah,
sold under the table, so to say,
yeah,
because people don't have the money to pay the tax, and it's a whole issue.
yep, absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's move on to your other experiences of life there. However, before we do that, yeah, yes, says Mel. I went to dinner with a Brazilian woman in Lisboa. I asked her what the waiter had just said to us, and she said she had no idea. Brazilians and Portuguese don't agree on what they call umbrellas or dogs or the brakes on your bike. Pretty basic stuff. Yeah, sounds like Brazilian subtitles, European Portuguese, or dubs it, not the other way around. Okay, Quebec French is subtitled or dubbed in other francophone countries. And Savvy Cat, any recommendations on where to visit in Brazil? We'd love to go, and would love a trip or a tip for somewhere other than Rio. So, I mean, it's a huge country, isn't it? And you would have
It
obviously
is. It's like the US. It's a continent. It's a whole
yes.
continent.
So what would
And
you recommend? How was it? I mean, hopefully
that's the
you
thing.
managed to
I
do some
only
tourists as well.
visited because when I was younger with my father, I traveled quite a bit in Brazil, but I was quite young. I would say like, I don't know, 12 or something. So I do remember a lot of it, but it's a completely different experience than going as an adult. And as an adult, I did go mostly for the inheritance stuff. So I only went to Recife, and that's where we inherited, and São Paulo because I have family there. And I didn't really explore a lot more of Brazil, but I would love to. Like personally, I would really want to go to Brasilia and Amazonia, and also to the Cataratas de Iguaçu, which is the big waterfalls. But the Recife area is really Recife itself. It's a bit of a mix, but then you have Bahia and Porto Galinhas and a bunch of very, very beautiful places to visit in the Pernambuco state. Wait, I stopped hearing you. It's new. So is
Oh,
it?
okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there
No,
we go. It's all,
I
it's all
wasn't able
sorted
to
out
hear
now.
Paul.
Okay,
I
so
was just seeing you move your mouth, and I was like, "Is it me?"
no, sometimes I do that. Sometimes I do that just for fun. I don't know. I'm really not sure what happened there. Thanks everybody though for attempting to help us there. Hopefully, we've sorted that out now. Cool. A bit of a hop around. Thanks, Savvy. Carlos managed to mute himself. Yeah, it did appear so. So, any other reflections? Of course, the long-standing connection between Portugal and Brazil. Sounds like in terms of empires. Some parts of the world will say the British Empire left them with a decent sort of civil service or bureaucracy or that sort of thing that people still pick up and run with. Sounds like Brazil
Portugal
have
is
done
also
that.
very blind for that.
Yes, I thought so. I thought that the Brazilians might have taken Portuguese bureaucracy and taken it to a new level, perhaps. What else did you notice culturally whilst you were over there?
I think one of my biggest clashes was just it's like in the US because, for example, São Paulo, the metropolitan area of São Paulo has almost double the population of Portugal as a whole.
Amazing, eh?
So it's just so many people, so many options, and it can be really interesting because you have a bit of everything, but the cities are also a bit chaotic.
Right. Okay. And you really noticed that, did you? Just a sheer population difference.
Yes, definitely. And I know I already knew this, but only after, talking to people and so on. There are, I think it's 340 something million Brazilians, and there's
Wow.
like 11 million something Portuguese. So
Yes, it's
we are
incredible.
definitely at a disadvantage here. And people talk about the immigration and people coming from Brazil because, even if like 1% of the population, it already doubles our own population. So
Yeah. It's incredible when you start thinking about it. It really is, isn't it? And what is it like to be a Portuguese person in Brazil? Is
that's
there
another curious thing because I noticed that most people that I met for the first time, they had never talked to a Portuguese from Portugal before, and I was
seriously?
kind of the novelty there.
Wow. Wow. Okay. And were they curious? How is that relationship?
Yeah, that's the thing because probably in my father's and in my grandmother's time, they always complained a lot about Portuguese having a bad reputation in Brazil. But I think now and with the younger generation, that's no longer the case at all. And there's also a lot of curiosity of Brazilians wanting to move to Portugal.
Yes.
And since I now have to spend a bit more time in Brazil, I'm actually thinking of approaching that market as Savvy Cat, but I have no idea yet how I'm going to go around it because I don't know if my content is in English and I never really approached the Brazilian market as a business before. So we
Very
shall
interesting. Very
go and
interesting.
see.
Well, we've got Mario De Oliveira joining us in about 5 minutes, who's here to talk about AI. You might want to stick around for that conversation. I imagine he can help you with some sort of patching or switchboarding for the two cultures that might extend your business model into Brazil. That sounds like a really good idea, Savvy, says Pete. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about that many people, of Brazilian people who might be interested in coming to Portugal and who could do so, I suspect, still on quite preferential terms, and they'll want to live somewhere and they might want to start a business here. That could be an extraordinary market for you.
Yeah, because right now I work mostly with Americans, but the problem
Yeah.
with working with just one market is that when there's instability on the market, it drastically affects my company. So it would be smart to diversify a bit.
Yeah. And how is that at the moment? I mean, my sense of it is that there are more Americans suddenly
There are
interested.
more Americans interested, but things right now are a bit chaotic on the embassies in America. We've been receiving a lot of feedback of appointments being blocked, which is creating a bit of panic. I'm actually releasing a video on YouTube today about that. So, in conclusion, I think this is something that is temporarily created by either a huge influx of demand or consulate level changes that affected staff and affected bookings, or due to policy changes related to the current political situation. So I do think this will self-regulate soon enough, but I don't know when. But
Yes.
definitely there is a lot of people very worried with not being able to book appointments in the US for a visa for Portugal.
Yeah, I mean, it was something of a joke back in, I don't know, 21, 22, and I in my mind had this idea of the American refugee, almost somewhat tongue in cheek. But we're there now. We seem to be there now. People certainly feeling that emotionally and psychologically, thinking about Portugal. Morning to you, Squire of the Shires. It's almost always good idea to have more than one leg to stand on. Talking about your business model there. A look at the roadmap of Brazil is quite revealing. Most roads spread out from Rio de Janeiro and are virtually non-existent in the north and west. How did you find the driving?
The roads are also like, the few times I took road trips in Brazil, I was always shocked by the state of the roads themselves.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the storm's here. Were you there during the storm time? You managed to escape the Portuguese storm?
Oh no, I actually have a very cool video about because I was in São Paulo most of the time, and it was pouring. I mean, one of the days, it was the day I came back, it was just raining so much it created rivers on the streets. And São Paulo is really chaotic because, I don't know, they don't do ground breaking. The city is just like this. Like block and block, it goes down, it goes up, it goes sideways. It's just completely chaotic. So you will have these rivers coming down, and then when the terrain changes, and they have some really drastic changes, like things go like this for some reason, it just creates kind of little lakes, and then there's the like kind of the light poles, and it create like water jets that are probably as high as myself, and I was really like, wow, damn, that's a lot of water.
We had something quite similar here while you were away, honoring that. Let's just give you a shout out over at your website and remind people what you can do for them. You are, of course, a guide to relocation in Portugal, offering a number of services. There you go. Step one, tell Savvy Cat Ana and the team about your dream. Explore the whole idea of your dream and your intentions here with confidence with the team. And settle in stress-free. Anything new added to your portfolio that you want to talk about this morning, Anna?
I will be making some changes soon, but I will talk that in the next session.
Oh, you're
But
teasing.
Overall, we are a lifestyle agency that helps expats source and navigate the market here in Portugal. We also give some visa support. So we'll support you from start to end in your journey coming to Portugal. And our goal is to make sure that from the buyer side, we basically operate as buyer agents, that you have all of the information to make informed decisions in good purchases that are aligned with the local market.
Yes, that's an important value to you, isn't it? It's not to put too much pressure on Portugal.
Was one of the main reasons I created my business was because I didn't like the way things operate and the conflict of interest between buyers and sellers. And I do believe that expats overpaying was one of the big reasons the market inflated so fast.
Yeah.
So I decided to create Savvy Cat to operate differently in a way that is aligned with my own values.
Yes, excellent. Well, just one more thing before we bring Mario into the conversation. Would you like to stay for the AI conversation?
Sure.
Yeah, great, because I think it's going to be very interesting with Mario. We're looking at the second brain moment. The context of this is sometimes I can be a little bit critical, but we're going to talk about how AI can improve your life, which we began to talk about yesterday, and not terrorize you. So he's going to talk about something called the second brain moment, the expat superpower, buying back your time, and the opportunity shift. Hopefully we'll be able to get to all of those, but I'm hoping Mario will be a monthly resident anyway. Just one more thing with Brazil and Portugal. When I went to visit an orchard, a grower here just outside of Caldas de Rainha, they had an amazing export market to Brazil. And there's like a sort of Portuguese expat class in Brazil who really love and prize Portuguese food and the things they remember, from the old place. So they were loving getting fruit. It's bizarre, isn't it, to think that you would export fruit from Portugal to Brazil, where presumably fruit goes pretty well and has plenty of sunshine. But they were taking Portuguese apples and pears out there. I think olive oil, just all those things, that when you're in a foreign country, the taste of home. So I think there probably is quite an interesting, maybe a relocation market for Portuguese people who are ready to come back to the homeland, to Europe, and maybe you could help them as well.
I do think that's a very, very small market. That's probably less than 1%.
Is it?
Like I said, I was pretty much a rarity while in Brazil.
Okay.
But I think in the Portuguese products that are very sought after in Brazil tend to be high-end wines. I remember my father always took Piramanca. It's a whole craziness in Brazil around Piramanca. It's like a fairly expensive wine. And yeah, the fruit is very different. It's actually one of my favorite things in Brazil is the fruit, the tropical
Yeah, I bet.
fruit.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
But it's very different fruits than we have here. And
maybe
one of the things is
like-
I really don't like oranges in Brazil, but I love our Portuguese oranges.
There you go. Portuguese oranges are hard to beat. It's a sweet spot, pardon the pun, in terms of orange production. Maybe not this time of year, but when they're at their best, there is no orange juice like. Even Floridians, I've heard say, the Portuguese orange juice is the best in the world, even better than Florida. Let's give him a nice round of applause and bring him onto the screen to join us. Hola, bon dia. Great to see you here, Mario.
Bon dia. Good morning. How's it?
How's it, Mario? A bit of a giveaway there.
Just a little bit.
And you've described yourself there as an IT geek and AI nerd. And thank you so much. You're the man behind GuMPy. And I was pointing out this morning that you weren't pretending, you didn't put on a woman's voice. You weren't doing it in real time. You enabled us with some technology to have GuMPy, our virtual assistant here, which is a lot of fun. And we put her on occasionally. So thank you so much for doing that. And here this morning to talk about the positive, friendly and good side, empowering side of AI, rather than all the terror we're hearing about. So I'd like to introduce you to everybody here, the GuMPers and Savvy Cat Ana, of course, on the screen. Ana, Mario, Ana. And let's have that conversation about AI this morning. Where are we at the moment, do you think, Mario? We're poised on a life-changing precipice, are we not, when it comes to AI?
Yeah, Carl. Well, thanks for inviting me. And hello, Anna. We're in the middle of a revolution. I don't know if it's common knowledge to the general public, but AI is here. It's working, and it's here to stay, and it's going to change the world.
Simple as, right. And where are we, do you think, in that process? Because a lot of us here will remember the internet and how when it first came along, it was like there's this thing called Netscape Navigator, and there's this little box and it makes funny noises. And people, non-nerds were looking at this thinking, okay, right, that's the internet. Oh, that's so you can look at people talking about things on bulletin boards. Well, I don't think that's going to change the world. And look at us 30 years later. And that's a short space of time in human history, is it not? The internet has completely changed our lives, let's face it. Is it going to be similar? And like, where are we in that curve a similar curve when it comes to AI?
It's not going to be similar. It's going to be more disruptive, and it's going to be faster.
Right.
Okay. I know we're not supposed to scare people, but that's not the intention.
Right.
But you spoke about Netscape, and even people that have gray hair, most of us don't know what Netscape is. But I would say we're on the Google moment. So,
okay,
internet became mainstream when Google started showing up, so replacing Netscape and Alta Vista. And I think we're at that moment in time where, machine learning has existed since the 70s, and AI is machine learning. We haven't gotten to AGI, which is really artificial intelligence, where computers can actually be creative and create new things. Yes. So currently, AI basically repeats what it knows. So it's more like an interactive encyclopedia than creative. I don't know if we're going to get to the creativity moment, but we're definitely at the moment where I would say AI needs to be treated as a second brain or as an intern.
Yeah.
And for sure, companies need to adopt AI as soon as possible, and not wait 10 years to create their websites and emails, because it's going to be much quicker, in my opinion. And so, yeah, that's where we stand right now, in my opinion.
Well, I remember that moment when, and Anna, I think, pricked her ears up a little bit about companies getting involved with this. It's how we do that, isn't it, as companies, and to what level? Because the company offer with the internet was like, oh, so basically I just have a business card online if I get an internet website, one of these newfangled internet websites. And now it's almost in a way, websites seem a little bit outdated. There may be better ways of being found and actually going out to people rather than hoping to be discovered on with a website. How exactly would a company, before we get into some of your ideas here, for example, the second brain moment, how does a company get involved with AI at this stage and not kind of misstep or misunderstand what the potential of it is?
Companies need to think of AI as a tool, just like an electrician uses a multimeter, or we use a saw. It's a tool. It's a multidisciplinary tool. There are different tools. There are different AIs, so there are different brains, and different AIs are specialized in creativity, reasoning, architecture, medicine, coding. So brains, they all do it, but some are better at doing one thing than the other. There's no real AI that does everything as good as best as all other AIs.
Yeah.
But yeah, the internet presence thing is a whole nother rabbit hole, which we need much more than 20 minutes to discuss.
Yeah.
But companies need to adopt AI to automate procedures and basically empower the workers to do 10 times the work they can do right now in the same amount of time. Yes.
Okay. Well, heads up, take note, company owners. You probably need to get your head around this in some way. And I think it's one of those topics where you probably don't know what you don't know. So it's good to talk to, have your mind opened on a more domestic level. Then you've got a few ideas for us on how mere mortals and not the company owners, although many of us are mere mortals who are trying to run companies as well in a somewhat immortal way. But the second brain moment, the first of your ideas to share with us about how AI can support us rather than terrify us, Mario. What is this?
Well, let's take Savvy Cat as example. I don't know if you use any AI yet.
Actually, I wanted to jump in and say I've been over the past, last month or so, I've been experimenting a bit with the ChatGPT professional environment. And it's been very interesting. I mean, it's extremely useful for data analysis, feeding it data and analyzing it, finding the patterns and so on. But I must tell you, I argue with it a lot.
That's just because you're Portuguese, though, right?
No.
No, because I keep giving it instructions, and it seems to be lazy by default. Like, I sometimes have to give it the same instructions 3 times for it to actually go and analyze the full data, because it will often just pull information out of its ass. And I'm like, that's not what I asked you to do. I asked you to crawl these places and give me an actual analysis. I didn't ask you to give me a overall view of what you think it is. I asked you to actually crawl it. And it's a thing. Like, I've been using it for the past month, and I had this argument with ChatGPT a lot. Like, I told it multiple times, please remember, I don't want you to give me general information. I want you to give me data-based information, and if you cannot fetch that data, tell me why and how to fix it. But this is recurring.
I think ChatGPT is going to be quite frightened of Anna now, Mario. What do you think?
I think you're using the wrong model. For data analysis, I would suggest you look to something like Perplexity or Claude.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. ChatGPT is more of a creative LLM. So if you want to write a story, if you want to generate an image, if you want to create a presentation, yes, ChatGPT. You want to do data analysis, Perplexity or Claude.
I eventually get it to do it. I just have to argue with it a lot.
Give it a good talking to. Yeah, okay. You were going to say that, Mary. You had an application for Anna there. Before she about ChatGPT.
Yeah, well, Anna's already doing some more advanced stuff, but let's go to the simple stuff. Translating a contract.
Yeah.
So Anna works with Americans. We speak Portuguese in Portugal. The contracts are in Portuguese. You can just drop a contract into ChatGPT or into Claude and ask it to create an American English version. Because yes, you can say American English or British English, and it will create
Portuguese from Portugal or Portuguese from Brazil, although it's not as good on that because there's probably not enough data input on Portuguese from Portugal.
So that's one easy example of how you can get a document translated in seconds, and it can be 30 pages long.
Yes.
Another example, a little bit more advanced, is qualifying leads. If we take a LLM and teach it Savvy Cat's way of working and its way of speaking to people, we can create a voice assistant that can answer people and qualify what they're looking for, what type of house, in which region, as if it's a normal natural English conversation. And then once that AI assistant has captured all this data, it can create a lead and pass it on to the sales team. So you can answer 10 calls in 1 minute, for example.
Yes, that does have its benefits for sure, doesn't it? So that second brain, isn't it? So basically multitasking yourself through technology and AI. You've got at least one other brain. I mean, in many ways, you've got an infinite brains, haven't you, doing different things. What this will be of interest to the GuMPers here. How do we develop our expat superpowers, Mario?
Well, one of the things we just spoke about, translating documents.
Yeah.
Okay. And another thing is there are already real-time engines to do voice. So you basically on your WhatsApp and you speak in English, and the person on the other side hears your voice in Portuguese with your accent. So it can break down that language barrier, and also helping you create documents like emails or even writing a letter in Portuguese. I would just like to make one thing clear. The second brain, or your intern, is very, very juvenile. So do not take everything an LLM tells you as 100% true. You need to treat it as a person you are teaching. Okay, let it do 80% of the work, but then 20% of yours needs to be you revising that document. It is very, very dangerous right now to assume that a contract that has been translated by an AI is 100% correct. Yes. I can guarantee you it's 90% correct or 95%, but that 5% difference can be an issue.
And that might be the bit that
it sometimes does some worrying things, like I said in the past months with the whole data analysis things. I've had instances while in the same chat, which supposedly they remember what's going on in the same chat, but instead of fetching data from the actual data I submitted, it went fetching data from the goals that were defined from that data. So it was giving me a completely different set of results from what we discussed. And for example, that one was one that it went pretty much like red alarm for me, because I was never expecting something like that to happen with AI. I would like, how did it fetch the wrong set of data? But it does happen, so be very careful.
But this is a really important point, I think, Mario, if I may. What I'm observing here is you went to some pain to say it's a tool. Now, there's an old saying, isn't there? A bad craftsperson blames their tools. Now, the person who's going to get the most bang for their buck from AI is the one I think you just described, who's willing to train the tool and shape the tool to make it work as a servant and slave to them. If you just want to give up your responsibility to AI, that's going to go horribly wrong at this stage of AI, isn't it? And the people who are going to get the most advantage are the ones who are prepared to put the time in to train it to work in the way they want it to.
If you don't train your AI, it's a train wreck just waiting to happen.
So you've got to do that work at this stage of things, right?
You have to argue with it like I do.
You need to train it and you need to revise.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, I can make some very funny images using ChatGPT or Nano Banana, but I will never be a Rembrandt. Okay.
Yeah.
But since I know how to code, I can say that I can do in one day, I can do 10 times the work that I used to do a year ago.
Yeah, okay? Right.
With exactly the same quality. Yes. Because I teach, I revise, I iterate, but just much, much faster.
Yeah.
Let's make this very, very simple. Carl, you remember when there were no electric screwdrivers, right?
I do. God, I remember the pain of that, literally, physically. Yes.
Okay. Now imagine assembling a IKEA bed, with and without an electric screwdriver.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So it's exactly the same, but you need to be careful because you can't put too much torque on the screwdriver, otherwise you're going to strip the screws. You need to use the right bits, otherwise you're going to destroy the screw head. Yes. So it's exactly the same. AI is a tool. You need to learn how to use it, when to use it, and when it's appropriate.
Yeah. And understand what you're dealing with, and that's where you're going to get the advantage at this stage. I think some of the most amazing breakthroughs are still quite invisible. You know, I was talking to somebody I know who works in a tech industry, and they were saying things that took them, I think, 3 months to implement takes 3 days now. He doesn't know up from down in the world he's working in. It's like the pace of change in the industry is terrifying, and they don't quite know what to do about it. And everyone's in a similar sort of situation, but maybe they could use AI to find out. Anyway, number 3 of your 4 points, buying back your time. A lot of retirees are finding themselves never busier in their life than they are in retirement. Can this help them?
As I said, those mundane tasks like classifying your invoices, writing documents, it can help with all of that. Creating complex spreadsheets, managing your budget. There's a whole lot of things that it can help with that. Well, as you said, maybe we should make a series of this and start focusing on.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do that.
I see there are a lot of questions in the chat.
Yes,
I don't know if you want to answer the questions or stick to the script.
Well, let's do a bit of both. Let's do, because I definitely want to find out about the opportunity shift. That sounds interesting. To what's possible, what's available when it comes to AI.
Let me try and I always like giving examples.
Yeah.
Myself, I've got a huge problem of translating my ideas into Word, into written documents.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things AI gives me is the empowerment to create elaborate documents very, very quickly with quality.
Yeah.
So I speak to it, I give it my general ideas, and I ask it to act as a sales manager and create a sales pitch for a product. And it will do that. And then I can go through it and ask it to change this and change that. And that's what it does. Also, people that have struggled with coding or, creating images can now use AI to help them with that. Maybe you've never written a book in your life, but you've got a great idea in your head how to write a book, but you're not creative enough to make your thoughts into a paragraph. So you teach your AI what sort of writing you want. If you want William Shakespeare writing or whatever, and you give it your idea, and it will write out the paragraphs for you, which you can then revise and iterate on.
Yes, yeah, and so you're creating new opportunities for yourself, expressing yourself in a way that you never thought possible. Let's get to some of those questions and comments. Thank you so much for being here, and yes, I would love it if you'd be here as a monthly guest so that we can get deeper into some of these things. Last year, I tried designing a poster with ChatGPT. Very frustrating using a free version. That might be it, because it never did what I was asking. Replace text with this or remove this text. And these sound, I mean, I'm looking at quite a few of the questions here, and I'm seeing a lot of what I would call old fart complaints. It's not responding in the way they thought it would or should do. That's just a matter of time, though, isn't it, Mario, before it gets more sophisticated?
Well, on that comment, it was the person said a year ago. Yes. I challenge Quinte and Traugos to try doing that today on ChatGPT or using Nano Banana. The experience is going to be totally different. The evolution that's happening every month is totally abysmal.
Nano Banana, did you say?
Yeah, Nano Banana is great for creating images. Do not forget that you need to give it context.
Yep. So that's life. That's life, isn't it? Context is everything.
You cannot go onto Nano Banana and say, create me a picture of a dog.
Yeah.
It will create you a picture of a dog. Is it the color of the dog? Is it the breed of the dog? Is the setting of the dog going to be what you expect? No. You can't tell your intern to design you a dog, and then he designs you a white poodle, and you come back and you say, no, listen, I wanted a German Shepherd. If you don't tell it.
Yeah.
So context.
Absolutely. Saw a clip from China, AI replacing a pharmacist. You talk to AI, it asks your symptoms, you tell AI your problems, then it tells you your medicine is ready, you go to the next machine. That's just the beginning, isn't it?
When I was in the US, I went to a lot of presentations in San Francisco, especially about AI, basically AI optimizations in medicine for diagnostics. And it's kind of a slippery slope, because when it's data driven, it can be great, but it really needs to be data driven.
Yeah, well, that's it. But the data is going to change, isn't it? For sure. One of the contracts we are signing at the solicitors today, we created using AI, as it was better than the one they provided, and they were very surprised it was AI created. These are the little things in real life we're going to see more of, I suspect. Sometimes there are clauses that only a local lawyer will know how vital they are. Only a matter of time, I think. Okay, he's up for the challenge. He'll try again next month. Not today, but next month. Nano Banana. He's going to be even better in a month's time there, Matty. Image generation is great on Grok, and I use it for 10-second video generation. I also use lots of other systems, and it's been great for my confidence because of learning. So there's a nice positive comment there. And perhaps a final question for the time being, or is this a statement? Mario, I have to write a whole load of blogs to update my website this morning. I don't really want to use AI as it can be far too generic. Our site comes top on Google search, but it needs updating. There's a real world case use. Is that the expression you use? Far too generic. Is that, again, a context problem? Is Pete not putting the right data in to get the best data out?
Maybe we can do a live session and we can see if I can break his perception of what the AI can do.
Yes. How about that? Can we do that next time you come back? It's been brilliant having you here today. Have you got a final question for Mario, Anna?
Yeah, actually, I was wondering, you said you were a programmer?
Yeah, we have a boutique software company that uses hybrid development methodologies.
Because I actually been hitting my head on the wall because I redid my website last year, but then the guy who did it kind of disappeared, and I wanted to add some things, and I haven't been able to get anyone, so I may need your contact.
That's the question then. How do we get in touch with you, Mario, to employ you?
It's so frustrating. Actually, it's a recurring thing. Like the first company I hired to develop my website, they did terribly, honestly. I actually found out they were using software illegally, and it was a mess. And then I hired this other guy that it was kind of hilarious because when he went to audit my site, he was just like, what the hell is going on here?
No, I've noticed this. It's like going to the hairdresser or a builder. The new
And
one
and
always
then
says, "Oh my God, who did this?"
he sent me like an 1 hour audit video that it was sad and hilarious at the same time. And I'm not
Yes.
a programmer, so I realized things weren't okay, but I didn't know what the hell was going on. And
Okay.
that guy, he fixed things, and I think he did a great job. But then he just went and disappeared, and now I cannot get him to do anything.
Mario, we need your contact details, or at least Anna does. So how do we get in touch with you?
I put my email on the chat. And Carl, feel free to share my WhatsApp number with. I don't know if I can share my number on the podcast.
We have a private chat though, but
You're very welcome to.
We put it in.
Yeah, Mario, if you'll let me do that, I will put your WhatsApp number into the chat now. If you're happy with that, is that okay?
Yeah, as long as you don't send me naughty pics.
Okay, well, I can't guarantee.
And I'm talking to you, Carl. I'm not talking to Anna.
I can't guarantee it. That's what I said. Yeah, okay, I promise. I can't promise on behalf of some of the other reprobates here.
You
so
put it on the general chat though, but sure. And now everyone has his number.
Yeah, there you go. And I'll make sure you get it. So yeah, you definitely need Super Mario, Savvy Cat. So I'll put you in touch with each other after the show. And thanks, Mario, for being here this morning. And we'll get you in as our resident advisor. I mean, you're not surprised, I'm sure, to hear some of these kind of old fart resistances, and you've heard it all before, I'm sure. And this is where we're at the moment, aren't we? That a lot of the change, big changes, radical changes happening behind the scenes, but it's going to be upon us. Just as it's surreptitiously crept into searching. You used to put something in Google. Now you get a very different response, don't you, when you go in there? What's the next big step, do you think, Mario, that we're going to see in public life?
Regarding AI?
Yeah.
It's going to be the change of mundane routine work that's not gratifying being replaced by creative. So humans are going to move more into the creative and thinking process.
Yes.
And also the physical process. So I think, unfortunately, tech people are going to be less, there's going to be less pay, not because there's going to be less work, but because the tools are going to be faster. And people that are craftsmen, like carpenters, electricians, mechanics, are going to get better pay.
Get into that. What an excellent bit of advice, and how lovely a vision where humans could really do what I think they're here for, which is to be creative, reflective, and truly bask in all that's good and great about being a human being, and less of that hard work and silly bureaucratic nonsense stuff that we've blocked our heads up with for possibly decades, maybe centuries now. Mario, thanks very much. Savvy Cat, thank you. Thanks to all the GuMPers this morning, and to Ian earlier on. Have a great weekend. Bon fin de semana. I'm going to be having a chat with Natasha from The Resident, and of course Dr. John Briffer later on. Thank you very much, both of you. Muito obrigado. Bon fin de semana.
Thank you. Bon fin de semana.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show